Hi, a warm welcome to all of you. Welcome to Becoming Better, the channel that shares knowledge on comprehensive personal development through great books. Since its inception, Becoming Better has always aimed to create videos with you, sharing knowledge and fostering personal growth. If you're someone who follows and watches my videos, I'm sure you're someone who puts in a lot of effort in life and has a strong desire to learn. If that's the case, then today's video is something you should pay close attention to. On the path to success, learning and gaining knowledge are essential. And when it comes to learning, two questions often come up. Does doing more work lead to more success? Does greater pressure lead to faster success? The first question is something many people have discussed, offering great lessons. Today, we will dive into the book Peak Performance by authors Brad Stulberg and Steve Magness to explore the answer to these questions. Let's get started. In the office of a design company in the Netherlands, they tie ropes to the desks, and when the clock strikes 6 p.m., regardless of what employees are doing, the desks are lifted to the ceiling, forcing everyone to stop working immediately. When we were young, we were often taught to work harder, that diligence can make up for intelligence. Society encourages, or even pressures, us to constantly strive for more effort. We often hear that success comes from relentless hard work, and we see successful leaders waking up early and sleeping just 4 or 5 hours a day. The scariest part is that you're afraid if you don't push a little harder, you'll be left behind. There are people out there, better than you, working even harder, so how could you allow yourself to rest? In this age of constant competition, rest seems to equate to being left behind. But is that really true? The two authors of this book use their own life stories to give you a clear answer. Brad Stulberg, an expert in physical science, was known as a golden child in his youth, working 70 hours a week and achieving outstanding results. At just 24 years old, he was invited to the White House to present his research findings. Steve Magness is a coach of elite long-distance runners, many of whom have competed in the Olympics. He himself once held a national record in the United States. Both of them shared a common trait: clear goals, the courage to take on challenges, and relentless hard work. However, despite their youthful achievements, they eventually stopped setting any more records. Why is that? There's a famous saying, "Form is temporary, class is permanent." This is often used in sports, but I think in part, it's just a motivational phrase for athletes during moments when they're underperforming. In reality, if you can't maintain form, how can you build a permanent legacy? The U.S. national soccer team has had moments of decline, and one reason is that the players were too stressed before their matches. Perhaps they had trained extremely hard, but when it came time to perform, they couldn't deliver. Cristiano Ronaldo, regarded as one of the greatest football players of all time, continues to maintain top form at the age of 39. In many interviews, he has said it's because he follows a strict regimen of both training and rest. That's right. You'll realize that in some cases, the harder you try, the more you fail. For example, in university entrance exams, many students can easily solve problems in practice, but the stress of the exam causes them to perform worse on the actual test day. The harder they push themselves, the worse they perform. Those who know how to rest and relax beforehand tend to do better. In life, when you start a job, you may enter it with great enthusiasm, full of dreams and career aspirations. This makes you work with passion and energy. But over time, the increasing pressures at work can cause you to lose your form. The more effort you put in, the worse the results. The two authors of this book point out that both they and many of us in this modern era are making a common mistake. It's the unrelenting pressure that leads to burnout and exhaustion. This realization led them to write Peak Performance. The authors, starting from their own struggles, sought the answer to why so many successful people can maintain their peak performance indefinitely. Through their research, studying athletes and knowledge workers over many years, they revealed a growth formula. Pressure plus rest equals development. If I were to use one phrase to explain this formula, I would say, life is like running a marathon. You have to know how to adjust your pace, as well as when to stop and rest at the right moments. Learn how to switch between training and resting appropriately to bring both your body and mind back to peak performance. In short, this book teaches you how to strike the right balance between pressure and rest to maintain high performance over a long period. I believe this formula is the core message of the entire book. Next, I'll share with you 2 key insights to help you quickly apply this formula to your life. Part 1 is about understanding what kind of pressure is actually beneficial. Part 2 focuses on how to restore your performance through proper rest. Although the methods in this part are quite simple, they are definitely worth deep reflection. So, make sure to listen all the way to the end. First, let's talk about pressure. What happens when the pressure is too great? For many people, short-term pressure might not be a big deal. However, if the pressure becomes constant, it can lead to prolonged stress, causing various health and psychological problems like insomnia, cardiovascular issues, or even impacting your physical well-being. You could find yourself trapped in a vicious cycle. You might think, if the pressure is too much, I'll just switch to a different job. That could work, but you need to be cautious because the source of the pressure may not come from the job itself. It might come from how you perceive it. In a work environment with your colleagues, what I call a virtual competition often emerges. Why virtual? Because in reality, there might not be any explicit competition. Yet when you see your peers or colleagues working hard and achieving success, you unconsciously become anxious, not allowing yourself to slack off. This creates pressure and can lead you back into that vicious cycle. There's a saying that holds true: our efforts are not to surpass others, but to surpass ourselves. Aside from focusing on your career, you need to know how to adjust your own pace, rather than trying to keep up with someone else's. Too much pressure puts your health at risk, but too little pressure won't help you succeed either. Let me clarify the true meaning behind this formula. It's not just about resting when you feel pressured at work. It's about adjusting the pressure itself first, and then resting accordingly. In this formula, the most important step is managing the pressure before you add rest. As I've mentioned in the book Flow, the activities that truly allow you to perform well and enjoy are those with a challenge level that's just right for you. It should have just enough pressure to push you, but not overwhelm you, causing you to give up. It also shouldn't be too easy, making you bored and unable to grow. So when it comes to managing pressure, you need to find a balance between the tasks and the goals of your work. The best approach is to adjust the scope. If it's too easy, expand the scope, and if it's too hard, narrow it down. Break your goals into smaller, manageable steps. For example, if you want to lose weight, start with 15 minutes of exercise each day, then gradually increase the challenge. If you're learning a new language, begin with 20 new words a day, and then slowly increase the amount. The same goes for reading. Start with 1 page a day, then challenge yourself to read more and faster. The process of overcoming these challenges might not always feel pleasant, but once you step out of your comfort zone, you will see continuous improvement. Now for the second point. While pressure is essential for personal development, if you want to make lasting progress or breakthrough achievements, you need to know how to rest properly. In the 1940s and 1950s, the running world believed that no one could run 1 kilometer in under 4 minutes. But then, a man named Roger Gilbert Bannister broke that record. Strangely enough, 2 weeks before the race, he didn't engage in any intense running practice. Instead, he spent time relaxing with friends and took 3 full days to rest before the race. When asked in interviews about his secret to success, he said, "You must have the courage to rest." That's exactly what we need today. Courage. Courage to stop and let our bodies and minds truly relax. The authors of Peak Performance suggest several methods for effective rest. Take intermittent breaks. For example, you can break your work into smaller tasks, and after 50 to 90 minutes, take a break to relax for 5 to 10 minutes. Take long breaks after periods of high pressure. After completing a high-pressure task, schedule some time for complete relaxation, like going on a trip or taking time off. The authors both make sure to take the entire weekend off after a week of intense focus. This helps them work even more efficiently the following week. Let go of everything temporarily. Allow yourself to unwind completely. There is a part of your brain that remains active even while you sleep, your subconscious. All human creativity and ideas are triggered by this part of the brain. Think about it. Don't you often come up with your best ideas while taking a shower or going for a walk? During these moments, you are fully relaxed. If you've been stuck on a difficult task for hours in front of a computer, don't hesitate to stand up, step away, and take a walk or do some light exercise. During this time, ideas might flood in. Finally, and most importantly, we must prioritize sleep. Lack of sleep can wreak havoc on your body and severely affect your work performance. Many famous productivity books have proven that less sleep equals less productivity. In Hyperfocus, How to Be More Productive in a World of Distraction, it's mentioned that sleeping 1 hour less reduces 2 hours of productivity. Many people have developed the habit over the years of not getting enough sleep, leading to fatigue during the day. This forces them to work late into the night, resulting in a never-ending cycle of sleep deprivation. It may seem like you've lived for many years, but perhaps you've just been repeating the same cycle over and over. So how do you sleep properly? How do you get quality sleep? This isn't just a natural process. I'll discuss sleep more thoroughly through a scientific lens in the book Why We Sleep. Unlocking the power of sleep and dreams in a future video. If you're someone who is concerned about sleep deprivation and wants to improve your sleep to enhance your quality of life, this book is definitely worth reading. That's all for today's content. I hope you found it valuable. If you found this video helpful, don't hesitate to give it a like, share it with those who might benefit from it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Be sure to turn on the notification bell so you can catch my latest videos every week. If you have any thoughts or perspectives to share, feel free to leave a comment below, and we can engage in a discussion. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.